The things I'm talking about is a whole house thing. And when I say whole house thing, I'm talking about all of us as demographics, as genders, as races, whatever. This is a community affair. This is a whole house thing. This is a community message and affair. Community. And what I'm about to describe, I'm trying to get all of us to come out into the center of the community. Come out your apartments and come out into the courtyard. All of us. Let's stand in a circle and let's look around and we see the trash that we got to pick up. We see the dog shit we got to pick up out the grass. We see where some of our children spray painted on the building. We see where you can't walk down the street. It's violent around the corner. Somebody ain't raising their fucking kids. You know, our community, it's us that makes it this way. And we have to come to the courtyard and look. Did you throw those cigarette butts? You come out here every day at the same time and you throw them cigarette butts down there. Now look. You come out here every day and walk your dog the same time and there's dog shit over there, the same place where you be walking at. You come out here all the time and you got that water bottle and there's that water bottle sitting on the floor right there. This is what this message is about. It's about the fact that all of us threw trash in the courtyard. And we need to identify what we threw down and what we need to pick up. And in a collective sense, we need to pick each other up. But we all have to get in the spirit of humility of understanding that we all stand guilty of contributing to a world where we cannot find connectivity, trust, mercy, kindness, empathy, compassion, love, care, pouring into neighborliness in a sense of community. We created it to be this way, and we have the power to undo it, to atone for it, and to fix it. Some of us is hiding out. Some of us is hiding behind others. And some of us is wanting to push the blame over to others. Some of us want to play stupid like we don't know what's going on. And some of us love the bliss of ignorance and don't want to be held accountable to what we know we otherwise could become aware of. Okay? And that's why I'm bringing this out. I'm bringing about the ugly and the truthful. I'm doing the due diligence of Pluto and Saturn conjunction at the third house. That's me, niggas. Understand that. I'm doing that. It's dark over here. The infamous astrologist is nocturnal. This is dark. I'm dark over here. And I'm going to keep it dark. So if you feel uncomfortable already, I understand. Do what you got to do. You know what I mean? But this is out of love. I promise you. It's out of love. And I hope that you can feel the love. I really do. But I know that if I lead with truth, I'm always going to be aligned. I'm always going to be guided and protected as long as I lead with the truth. I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to, to flatter people or for people to flatter me. I'm not here to win friends, even though I would love friends. I would love to cherish and embrace friends, believe me. And there are many people who I have befriended, behind the scenes that I appreciate, I cherish, and I love like my own sister and my own brother. Understand that. Okay, but I know that there's things that are very difficult that carry weight and burden that we all got to look at together and we got to be honest about, because guess what? We chose to be a spiritual community. And if we chose to be a spiritual community, we have to take the accountability, the weight, the burden that goes with that. Otherwise, we cannot lead. We cannot be trustworthy to lead. So let's start with this humility. Let's walk these dogs, you heard? Listen up. Alright, I'm going to use this to talk about everything that makes me unpopular. You know what I mean? I'm going to talk about the things that make somebody feel tempted to hit the unsubscribe button. That makes people feel like I don't want to be here on this channel. That makes people feel like something wrong with this nigga. You know what I mean? I want to talk about that. That's exactly what I want to go into. I want to lead with it. You know what I mean? I'm going to be provocative here, but I am being sincere. So anyway, I'm going to just run down the list, you know what I mean? The reason I want to bring these things up for whoever can brave it, you know what I mean, is that, You know, we have to find the resilience to look into the dark and to look into the deep. And we have to find the courage to look at the truth, even beyond simple facts and statistics. We have to look at the truth. Now, first up, looking at who represents what, but who really represents what. You know what I mean? Who represents what in our current collective themes, and who really represents what. Okay? So, let media tell the story. Let certain leading talking points tell the story. When it comes to our current themes, such as DEI, okay, who benefited from DEI most, who participated the most in DEI, who really represents DEI, and who was made to represent and symbolize DEI. And I go on. Food stamps, EBT, SNAP benefits, who utilizes it the most in truth, and who was made to be the face and representative of food stamps, welfare, SNAP benefits. Okay, who was made the mascot. Okay, I want to visit that part first. This situation, including feminism, which was someone else's idea, but somebody else gets made as the representative and symbolism of where feminism went left, where it went to the extreme. This goes back to white women and black women. And I'm pointing this out because the Scorpio effect, the Pluto effect, especially with me having Pluto at the third house, this is what I do. You know what I mean? I show the face of death and what I'm talking about. If you have two siblings and one sibling is the face of taking cookies out the cookie jar. And for years and years and years, your whole childhood, that one sibling, the black sibling, you know what I mean? Everybody says, oh, she keep taking the cookies out the cookie jar. She's a cookie jar stealer. She always got a hand in the cookie jar. She couldn't keep a hand out the cookie jar. But Scorpio and Pluto works this way. It reveals and recovers the truth. So you sit down and you actually talk about events that happen in life, and the quiet kid, right? The quiet sibling who always sucks their thumb and watches everything and sees the truth of everything but never talks. They're finally at an age where they can talk. So that sibling who watched the white sibling and the black sibling, when it came to that cookie jar, they finally tell the truth about it. They be like, okay, so the white girl had this idea that we should go, you know, and at night and start putting our hand in a cookie jar, you know, get a couple of cookies. But she didn't have the bravery, you know what I mean, to go down them steps and go get them cookies. The black girl did, you know what I mean, the black sibling. So the black sibling went and put her hand in the cookie jar and got the cookies and brought it back. And she started, you know what I mean, she started the trend of going at that particular time in that particular route throughout the house in a particular way that made it, you know, to where, you know, you skip over the second step so it doesn't, you know, make that creaking noise. Make sure you, when you walk past the dog, you pat him on the head so he don't make noise. You know what I mean? Give him a doggy treat. And when you put the cookie jar, you know, down, make sure you put it down like this so it don't make no noise. You know, the black girl set out the route. She set out the pathway. And then the white girl followed behind those instructions, you know, after the black girl's bravery of sticking her hand in a cookie jar, you know, to get some cookies. You know what I'm saying? And so the black girl got exposed for because she ended up getting caught in that route. The white girl didn't get caught, you know, in the route. But she still, you know what I mean? She still does it but she's just not the face of it. So the black girl grew up with the reputation of being the one who puts a hand in the cookie jar, but really the white girl does the same thing, but she just don't get exposed for it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things when it comes to feminism. It was the white girl's idea, but the black girl's the one who went and braved the full expression and reality of feminism, which fell to the fate of what black females are going through today. The self-inflicted isolation, single parent status, bastard children, the situation that, many of them are suffering throughout their lives of, not being able to pair, not being able to keep a man. It just unfolds into worshiping of careers, worshiping of jobs, promiscuity. It's just too many problems that piles up on top of that. And she becomes the representative and mascot of that, even though it's a white girl's idea. You see what I'm saying? Now, you go to DEI. Same thing with the cookie jar concept. You know what I'm saying? DEI benefited white women more than it benefited black women. White women were the number one beneficiaries of DEI. The number one participants in DEI. White women. But they go under the radar. They don't get exposed for it. They don't get called out for it. Instead, DEI gets stuck to black women's face. It gets stuck to their reputation. It gets stuck to their image. Even though, yes, it did benefit black women exponentially when it is compared in the black community and how that falls out. It gave them access to what otherwise they may not have had access to, but not at the numbers comparative to white women. White women are the mascots of DEI, not black women. But it was decided that black women should wear the face and reputation of DEI. Same thing if we roll on down to food stamps, SNAP benefits, EBT cards. You know what I mean? Black women are made a symbol of that status, the symbol of that lifestyle, of that legacy, of being on welfare, collecting stamps, so on and so forth. However, it's white women who are the majority utilizing EBT, SNAP benefits, food stamps. One becomes the mascot and one benefits from it while going under the radar and never becoming the mascot. These are truths that are coming to surface. And with these truths coming to surface, people who have been hiding back in the shadows, escaping the radar, not being put up for examination, not being called out for whatever else or being accountable for whatever else, and allowing other people to take the burn, take the weight, take the pain, take the pressure, take the burden, take the pushback, take the consequences, take the insults, the rejection, the disrespect, the abuse, on and on and on, while they hide safely behind their image, while they hide safely behind their designated place in society. That's not okay anymore. These are the kind of behaviors that are no longer okay. It's not okay because in truth, it's wrong. The one who enjoyed safety, protection, security, absence from such scrutiny, while being the actual representative of these numbers, the actual representative of such status, but yet escaping the eye of scrutiny and not speaking up for the one who takes the lashings for it, is fucked up. That's just like as siblings. You put your hand in a cookie jar and your sibling wasn't the one that did it, or you might have took, 10 cookies, your sibling took 1 cookie, but because 11 cookies is missing and your sibling got caught for it, even though they took 1 of the cookies and you took 10, she gonna get a whooping for taking 11 cookies while you still got your 10 cookies, and she only got to have 1 cookie, but she getting a punishment for having 11 cookies. That's fucked up. What's fucked up about it is if you don't say something, if you don't speak up, if you don't speak out, how can I watch, my sister get a lashing, get a whooping, and not say shit about it, and I know that I'm the one who actually represents that action. I'm the one who actually represents that status, but yet I get to enjoy safety and escape, the eye of scrutiny in a situation. There's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with not speaking up, speaking out, and there's something wrong with enjoying so much safety, security, and quiet, ducking your head under the ground like an ostrich, and pretending like you're hovering above all the scrutiny that's taking place in the earth when you're supposed to roll up your sleeve and get involved. It don't mean you got to be a superhero and be violent, disrespectful, rude, whatever, but you're supposed to have a voice in the matter if you know that somebody else is taking the heat for what you yourself represent. That's fucked up. You heard? So I'm just putting that out there because these themes right now that we going through concerning Pisces, Saturn retrograde, it's about clearing the conscience, cleaning up the conscience, making sure that we do the due diligence to have a clear conscience. We don't have a clear conscience if we're practicing escapism. We don't have a clear conscience if we are going under the radar while somebody else get punished for, held accountable for, or scrutinized for what we actually are the ones in representation of that very thing somebody else is being accused of. That's fucked up. You heard? Now, as it relates to welfare and the black experience, okay, tables are turning on this as well, where the conscience has to get cleared. Okay, it's a clearing of the conscience. Now, how does it relate, in the black experience? You got a brother and a sister who were living out an illusion set by the father. And I'll give an example. The brother and sister in the household was asked to work together every day to get your chores done, to do your thing, your duties around the house. I want you guys to work together and you get your allowance, okay? You work together. Boy, girl, work together. So, the father of the household, i.e. government, Uncle Government or whatever, comes to the daughter and says, hey, listen, I know it's a lot of work for you to do. Yeah, but you can't tell your brother about this, okay? I'm only going to offer this to you. Hey, listen, how about instead of you working for your allowance, instead of you having to pull all your weight, I'm going to help you personally. I'm going to pick up the loads for you. I'm going to do half of your portion. I'm just only going to expect and demand from you a fraction of the effort that your brother is giving. I'm going to help you out. Don't worry about it. And matter of fact, whatever benefits that you get from me helping you out, you can't share it with your brother. If I find out you sharing it with your brother, I'm going to take it from you. He does not get to take part in what I reward you with. He does not get to relieve himself of what I relieve you with. That's the Lyndon B. Johnson welfare state, okay? That was proposed to women, but specifically I'm talking about the context of the black woman. Lyndon B. Johnson's welfare state. I'm your husband now. I'm your father now. So, food, clothing, shelter, come to me. But he can't be in it. He can't deal. If you're with him, we're not going to help you. So you have to be single to get my rewards, to get my benefits. And this expanded to the double minority. The double minority being the black woman, and number two being a female in America. The double minority. We're going to open America up to you. As long as you help us to keep that nigga down, to keep that nigga behind, and to keep that nigga tripping over his own foot. We can't let that nigga get up. We can let you in because we know you ain't got no identity to start with. Your identity comes from him. So as long as you're not around him, I know you'll do whatever the hell we tell you to do as long as we paying you, long as we giving you food, clothing, shelter. You'll do whatever we ask you to do. You'll be our tool. You'll be our useful idiot. So here's what I need you to do. And the brainwashing begins. Don't you want a big lofty status? Don't you want to be better than him, compete with him? Look at him. He's broke. He's struggling. He ain't shit. Ever since he came home from the war, all he does is hide away from his sorrows under the tree, drinking and shooting up heroin. There's more to that story, but she don't want to hear it. There's more to explain that story, but y'all don't want to hear it. And that's okay. That's okay, because I'm going to explain it sooner or later. Understand, even though I already explained it. Now, Lyndon B. Johnson opens the roadways for her to have ease in accessing education, childcare, food stamps, Section 8, modifications in rent, free housing. There are shelters and programs, beaten, battered women, so on and so forth, which I agree with. But what I'm pointing out is there's countless programs for women, but there ain't shit for a black man. There ain't a goddamn thing, nothing, except for what he works for. There ain't a goddamn thing in society for a black male. Nothing, and I mean nothing. But everything was poured out for her to advance, to get ahead, to stabilize, to see a sense or illusion of independence. But at the expense of what? Give me your soul. Give me your identity. Give me your legacy. Give me your mind. Give me your body. Give me your generations. Give me your heart. Give me your spirit. Give me your personality. Give me your thought process. Give me your reasoning and rationale. Give me your talking points. Give me all of you in exchange. Food, clothing, shelter status. She got food, clothing, shelter status, and she got the warm seat right next to Massa in the big old plantation. She's a house nigga now, and he's a field nigga. And the gay motherfuckers among black men became a house nigga right along with her. And so did some of the light-skinned, more handsome, corporate, wavy-haired motherfucker, tight pants-wearing ass niggas right along with her in the corporate world. And here goes a divide. Why is your brother down there and you up there? And you forget how all this happened. And you start talking down on your brother, condescending your brother, calling him dusty, calling him broke. You can't get it together. Y'all niggas this, y'all niggas that. You ain't shit. I don't want no scrub, so on and so forth. Now, that shit begins. And none of them have the bright idea to stop and think, how did we get here? How did this all get started? But instead, the ignorance is passed down from generation to generation, and nobody stops to fucking think, where did this come from? How did this shit begin? White Christian nationalists and Khazarians have been in our business since the beginning of the United States Corporation. They have been meddling in our affairs, putting us against each other, deliberately engineering means of keeping us down, keeping us out and confused. Can't leave us the fuck alone. And that is no different. The Lyndon B. Johnson program, the welfare state, it went to her head. She forgot that an invisible hand, the hand of daddy government, the hand of uncle government, raise her up to the status that she got to enjoy, the access that she got to have, the abundance of this earth. The devil came to her and said, if you prostrate to me, I will give you all of this. And she didn't hesitate to take upon that motherfucker. She prostrated to the devil and she took the fuck off and raised her rank in the earth. She didn't pass the test that Jesus passed. She flunked that motherfucker. She flunked it. And she has been worshiping Satan ever since. Doing what Satan wants her to do, being who Satan wants her to be. It is a repeat of the story of Adam and Eve from the garden. And all that can be done, Adam, where art thou? Adam, where art thou? The black man has to come and fix all this shit, because she don't have the courage and clarity and focus or honesty and sincerity to do it herself. Shahrazad Ali came in the 80s to do it, and she fought her. She rebelled. She canceled her. Kevin Samuels came in the exact same message as Shahrazad Ali, but with more intelligence, more tact, more wisdom, more facts and statistics to back up what it is that he's saying in a professional demeanor, and she still vilified and fought him. Nobody can get through to the black American woman and her divisiveness, her prostration before Satan, her loyalty to Satan. And the time comes for her deliverance. And deliverance is when we are pulled away from something that we don't have the strength, clarity, knowledge, understanding, or knowing, conviction to find our way out of. She has been sent away from the plantation. All of her benefits of Pharaoh is cut off. Her ranks among Egypt is cut off. And she comes back to the wilderness to see her clan, the very people that she cursed, the very families that she divided, the very people that she was used as a weapon and device to destroy, separate, and set in a fire of confusion. The very brothers who she cursed, shamed, made fun of, and laughed at and scoffed at. Like Cinderella's sisters who laughed at her sister who got locked away in the basement. Black men were like Cinderella in the basement, and she was like Cinderella's sisters, laughing at the holes in her dress, laughing at the run-over shoes that she had to wear, laughing at the fact that she had to stay in the home cleaning up the dust, the dirt, and taking out the fucking trash. Not realizing that her level, her status is equal to her male counterpart, but she's the one who's enjoying an illusion of success, an illusion of status, an illusion of power, an illusion of victory. Victory is won together, not by your fucking self, but she don't get that. Master sent her home. Reality check. 2 years ago, affirmative action was ended. Reality check. No more enrollments into college unless you really mean it. No more PhDs and college degrees unless you really mean it. DEI was stopped, and a small fraction or percentage of her that she does represent, by which she was gaining access without merit, no more. Ain't happening. So you're not going in these places no more with your bonnets, your ashy ass ankles, your bad ghetto ass attitude, your lack of character, tact, wisdom, and kindness to other people. You only get through if you qualify. And probably barely that until this administration leaves, because everybody knows it's not a secret. We have a racist administration. Benefits are cut off. Section 8 is cut off. Food stamps is cut off. WIC vouchers. Government assistance. The whole government is shut the fuck down. She has no choice now but to reflect, to remember, who am I? What is my true status? And her true status is equal to that of her community. What is the status of your community? Who are the people who you look down upon, who you shamed, who you cursed, who you laughed and scoffed at, who you turned your nose up and thought you was better than because somebody gave you an illusion of progress, success, and achievement? Now you have to climb down that same ladder and look eye to eye to every person who you passed up and cursed. Now you have to cross every bridge that you set on fire and burned. Every person that you laughed at now might become your very saving grace. The chickens have come home to roost for the captain and leader of all feminists of the West, the Black American woman, the one who gives the marching orders, the demonstration, the personality trait, the eye rolling and the neck rolling, the twisting and the snapping and snatching of the fingers and hands and cameras, the cussing like a sailor, the I ain't finna do this and I ain't finna do that and ain't no man this and I don't need no man and I'm independent and I got this and I got a PhD and I'm status, I got this status and I'm getting to the bag and yada yada. People are tired of hearing that shit, and the marching orders came from the black woman. Everybody got it from the black woman, how to talk like that, how to express themselves like that, in that obnoxious way. The tasteless way. The shameless way. The way that is not fitting of a woman. Now it's time to clean up. Do we want to talk about spirituality? Do we claim to be spiritual? Are you claiming to be spiritual? Well, why don't you have the courage and the guts to go over these things for yourself? Why don't you have the guts to admit that these things are being put on the blue screen of reality for the collective and you running from the motherfucker like a fucking coward? And you talking about you spiritual? You a lying ass motherfucker if you refuse to look at this shit and acknowledge it and open your eyes wide the fuck up and admit that this is what the fuck is going on and something has to be done about it. Correction has to take place. Healing has to take place. Surrender, admitting to what the fuck is really going on here. It's a filthy cleanup of what's pouring out of our guts, Virgo, and what's coming out of our subconscious through the blood that we have fermented in our spirit, personality, the traits that we walk around with being toxic, disingenuous, fraud, liars, insincere. But we're spiritual. We're the spiritual people. But poems and crystals and positive vibes only is all we deal with. No, I beg to differ. That's a liar. That's a hypocrite. That's a fucking fraud. That's what that is. Because you don't want to deal with the dirty, the gritty, the dark. So you're fraud. When we gonna get real? Go ahead. I know you're tempted. Unsubscribe. Because I know that's what you feeling. That's what you thinking. Unsubscribe. Run away. Tuck your tail and run. Do it. Don't hesitate. Run. I want you to feel comfortable. You feel uncomfortable with what I'm saying? Run. Save yourself. Because I'm setting a big ass fire right now. That's what I'm doing. I want a big ass fire. I want us to look at this shit. White guilt is in the air. White males thought that they had a scapegoat by bringing up statistics, some sorry ass statistics, that they were too lazy to unpack and properly interpret, talking about crime rates, crime percentages, but not explaining the difference between arrests and convictions, while also turning a blind eye to what white males themselves are leading with in statistics. Let us not go into that. The child molestations and domestic violence. We could go down the list. We all got dirt. We all got fouls. We all got issues. We all have sins. All of us. And you're only pretending to think that somebody can be called the definite article, the problem of society. There's no such thing as the problem of society. We all are a problem that contributes to society, and we have to pick up our portions and percentages. As they say in the old school song, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. I don't know nothing about that shit. What was that, the 80s? You know what I mean? Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. Yeah. Y'all remember that shit? You know what I mean? Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. What about what the fuck you doing? You can't clear your conscience by trying to make somebody else to be the villain. That's like back in the day. I'm an 80s kid. Y'all can relate. We used to get whoopings. You know you getting a whooping, so you're going to try to bring your other sibling into the situation so they could get a whooping instead of you. Or at least so they could get a whooping along with you, because misery likes company. You can't take your whooping like a G. You can't take that shit like a champion. You got to bring somebody else down. You out here being a gangster, running the streets, doing all kind of crimes, but when you get caught, you ready to tell on another nigga? Nah, you a gangster. Fuck you telling on him for? Take your shit and do your time, nigga, because you signed up to be a fucking gangster. You don't get to call or bring somebody else down with you. Do your time, nigga, because you running these streets. It's exposing the cowardice out here. Instead of white American males accepting the resume that they are born with, the legacy that they were born into, the reputation that they have carried from sea to shining sea, the history that comes along with their identity. Instead of accepting that that is the truth, and you have the power to reconcile with that, you have the power to atone for it in your generation, to put a stop to that legacy in your generation. You don't have to walk around with that guilt. If you first admit to that your forefathers' sins and atone for it. Make sure that it is rid out of your own genetics, out of your blood, from your hands and from your ways, and speak against it. Do not promote it. But instead, the idea is to make another demographic, a group of people, look worse than yours or look bad as yours so that you could keep the heat off of you. Nigga, that shit ain't gonna fucking work, because you've been trying to do that shit since 1776. Really, since 1490 motherfucking 2. You've been trying to do that shit, but it ain't working. The world is awake now. People know better now. People are enlightened now. People see the truth for what the fuck it is, and you ain't getting ready to pull that white superior lie over anybody anymore. Nobody's buying that shit. Fuck out of here. Nobody is submitting to white supremacy. That shit'll never fucking happen again. So nobody's going to be able to push the burden on to somebody else. You got to own up to what your forefathers have fucking done. You got to admit the fucking truth. Just like we have to admit the truth in the black community of how much toxicity we got going on, how much fucked up shit we got going on, and what we doing to ruin this society, this world, this generation. We have to come clean about that. All the thugging, the gangsterism, the hypersexuality, the fucking clowning, and walking around like fucking jigaboos and entertainers like we ain't got no fucking sense. All out in public like we ain't got no home training, no values, no respect for each other, the promiscuity. We all upside down in the black community. You see how easy that is to admit? You see how easy it is to come clean, to clear your conscience? Does that take away from me? Does that make me lesser? Because I can admit that I come from a community where we do these things that we are accused of. There's a lot of truth to it. But guess what? I also know we can change. And it starts with me. I'm who it starts with. Charlie Kirk bringing up this bullshit. Oh, the small percentage of African Americans are responsible majority of all this crime. Well, nigga, what small percentage of motherfuckers is responsible for the crimes against humanity across the whole fucking planet, nigga? Let alone cities. You talking about urban cities. Who is responsible for the crimes against humanity across sea to shining sea since the Spanish Inquisition? Who has genocide millions, billions, trillions of people? Indigenous people, people of color all over the planet because of their entitlement, because of the doctrine of discovery, because of the manifest destiny, because of unum sanctum, because of Christian Constantinianism, because of the Spanish Inquisition spreading, because of the secret treaty of Verona, because of the Monroe Doctrine. How many people lost their lives for that? And who is responsible for that? White men. Who took the identities, the legacy, the name, the language, the heritage, the culture, the estate, the claim to land and the rights to properties? Who took and separated baby from mother and sold them motherfuckers like cattle? Who decided that human beings are going to be classified with cattle? Who wrote and established and enforced the Christian black codes? Who did that? Who did this shit? So you're gonna focus on some petty crime statistics against that mountain of crime against humanity since 1490 motherfucking 2, nigga? You better sit your white ass down some goddamn way, that stupid ass shit. That's the stupidity that comes about with trying to dodge and deflect from what has truly manifest, which is that every demographic, every home, every house is supposed to be cleaning up their house, cleaning up their act, cleaning up their image, cleaning up their character, cleaning up their resume, cleaning up their blood, clearing their conscience. And the way to do it is not to pass the burden on to another people, to pass the burden down the block, to pass the burden on somebody else while you hide out and escape the motherfucking burden. Guess what? Every one of us is getting a beating right now. And you don't have the right to hide out behind the porch, to hide out behind your bed while all your siblings is getting a whooping for the thing that you yourself participated in. We all participated in ruining this society. So everybody has to come out clean, open their hands and show, yes, I did this and I will pick this up. None of you motherfuckers is special. I'm not special either. Nobody's fucking special. And if you think you're special, you're dead fucking wrong. We all gotta take smoke. We all stand accused. And it's not about passing fault, it's about owning, taking accountability, taking ownership of where we have committed moral corruption and where we have lost accountability, so that the trust has degraded and dissolved in the fiber of society, where we can no longer connect and count on and trust in each other in a unified sense because of these sins against each other and against ourselves and our communities collectively. We don't want to own it. We want somebody else to be guilty. We want somebody else to look bad right along with us as the ship sinks. And that's not the right mind to have. What about your damn self? What are you doing? What have you doing? What has the sisterhood been doing? What has the brotherhood been doing of your community demographic and as a collective? What have we been doing against ourselves, against each other, against our neighbor, against our brother, against our sister? We have to clean it up, and that's what the fuck this shit is about. I bring it up because I know I have to keep on bringing it up because a lot of you motherfuckers, you want sweet fucking tea under the shade. I ain't got none of that shit. I'm the infamous astrologist. The infamous. And I'm not for a reason. It's dark over here. And it's gonna stay motherfucking dark. Because that's the role I play.